Let's continue with the topic motion in a plane, and in this section we shall see how to describe motion in 2 and 3 dimensions using vectors. The figure shows the position vector OP of a particle located at P with respect to origin O. If x, y and z are the coordinates of the point P, then OP will be equals to xi plus yj plus zk. And this equation expresses the position vector R in terms of its rectangular components x, y and z. Displacement vector. To describe motion in 2 or 3 dimensions, we must first establish a coordinate system and a convention for the axis. And you know that we generally represent the coordinates x, y and z to locate the particle at any point P in 3 dimensions. And the position vector R will be the xi plus yj plus zk at any particular time t. The following figure shows a particle at time t1 located at point p1 with position vector rt1, and at any later time t2 the particle is located at p2 position with position vector rt2, and therefore the displacement vector delta r will be equals to r vector at t2 point or at t2 time and minus r vector at t1 time. The procedure is same as we have done in one dimension, but here we have to use the concept of vectors. Similarly, for the velocity vector, vt will be equals to dr by dt. Firstly, you have to calculate the displacement vector and then differentiate it with respect to time. Here, the relative orientation of position vector and velocity vector are shown in this diagram. That the delta r is the displacement vector within the time interval delta t, and if you differentiate it with respect to time, you will get the instantaneous velocity vector. In the terms of equation, you know that vector r is represented by xi plus yj plus zk, and by differentiating it with respect to time t, you will get vector v equals to vxi plus vyj plus vzk, where the value of vx will be equals to dx by dt, vy will be equals to dy by dt, and vz will be equals to dz by dt. And the average velocity will be the position vector r at any time t2 minus position vector r1 at any time t1 divided by the time interval. Now let's check the understanding. The position function of a particle r is 3.0 t cube I cap plus 4.0 j cap, and you have to find out instantaneous velocity at 3 seconds and average velocity between 2 and 4 seconds equals to instantaneous velocity at 3 seconds. So firstly, we have to differentiate it with respect to time. You will get the velocity, and that will be equals to 9t square, and velocity at 3 seconds will be, by putting the value of t equals to 3 in this equation, we will get 81 I cap meter per second. And for the part B, since the velocity function is non-linear, and that means you can say that the average velocity is not equals to instantaneous velocity, and hence you can say that V average is equals to the difference between the position vectors at any time t2 and t1 divided by the time interval delta t. So by putting the value of t equals to 4 seconds in the given RT vector equation minus by putting the value of time t is equals to 2 seconds you will get the average velocity equals to 54 I cap meter per second, and you can see clearly that it is not equals to the instantaneous velocity. The average acceleration of an object is the ratio of the change in velocity and the corresponding time interval. So if the velocity of an object changes from v1 to v2 at point P and at any another point Q, then the average acceleration will be v2 minus v1 divided by delta t, and average acceleration is the vector quantity having same direction as that of delta v. The instantaneous acceleration of an object is equals to the limiting value of its average acceleration when the time interval approaches to 0, and mathematically it is given by vector A is equals to limit delta t tends to 0 delta v by delta t, or you can say dv by dt. So by putting the value of v in 2 dimensions, it will be vxi plus vyj, and you can say that I cap into dvx upon dt plus j cap into dvy by dt, or you simply represent A is equals to axi plus ayj, where ax is equals to dvx by dt and ay is equals to dvy by dt. This figure represents the instantaneous acceleration A at any point P, and the instantaneous acceleration doesn't have same direction as that of velocity vector. Instead, it must lie on the concave side of the curved surface. Thus, the velocity and acceleration vector may have any angle between the 0 to 180 degree between them. Now, relative velocity in 2 dimensions. We have already learnt about the relative velocity in 1 dimension motion, and you know that relative velocity of an object A with respect to any other object B when both are in motion is the rate of change of position of object A with respect to object B. Now, suppose 2 objects A and B are moving with the uniform velocities vector VA and vector VB, then the relative velocity will be VBA equals to VB minus VA. Here VBA represents the relative velocity of B with respect to A, and similarly relative velocity of A with respect to B will be VA minus VB, and we have to add or subtract components along x and y direction in the case of 2 dimensions. So let VA is equals to VXA I cap plus VYA j cap, and similarly VB is equals to VXB I cap plus VYB j cap. So the relative velocity will be equivalent to I cap into VXB minus VXA plus j cap into VYB minus VYA. And similarly, for the 3 dimensions, there will be an additional component of velocity along z-axis, and you have to take care of that also, and we will get the net component z for relative velocity vyb minus vya. So this was about the vectors, and we will take the numerical problems in the live classes session, and you will be able to solve these topics very easily. Students, in books there are the topics scalar product and vector products given in this chapter, but we will take that topics in the work energy power chapter and in rotational motion according to your curriculum. Thank you.